Hello and welcome back to my YouTube channel. So as you already know that in the previous lecture we completed the topic of nuclei. So as we always do, आज हम क्या करने वाले हैं? We are going to practice some questions. We will see what kind of questions were asked in the previous examination and we will anticipate what kind of questions can be asked in this year's examination. ठीक है, हम वो करने वाले हैं. Now before we start with the questions which we're going to attempt in this chapter, मैं आपको बस एक बात बताना चाहता हूँ कि there is a chance that this session might be small. क्यों session छोटा हो सकता है? Because nuclei is always that with a topic structure. Atomic structure के हमने questions cover कर लिए हैं and now we are only left with the nuclei. तो nuclei में हम will be touching will try to touch each and every topic which is mentioned in your NEET syllabus and उसके basis पे questions को cover करेंगे. So quantity of the questions will be reduced. Okay, the quality will be there but quantity of questions will be reduced. So please bear with me. ऐसा नहीं questions कम करवा रहे हैं but we have always touched each and every topic. अब topic ही कम है तो उसमें हम कुछ नहीं कर सकते. ठीक है, so let's just start with this thing. So the first question which we're looking at is it is being said that in the first question, a star can convert all of its helium nuclei completely into the oxygen nuclei, and the energy released per oxygen nuclei during the formation. We have to calculate the energy released whenever one oxygen nuclei is formed. Now, in order to solve this question, at the first glance you might feel like this question is a bit difficult, but ये question difficult नहीं है because we have already discussed each and every concept. अब आपको बस ये है कि how you can manipulate the relations and how you can use the different relations which you have studied in our previous lectures. ठीक है, तो देखिए question में आपको क्या कह रहा है? It is being said that in a star the helium is being converted into oxygen. Now here the basic knowledge of chemistry will be used. Now we know that helium is represented as this 2 and 4 and oxygen is represented by this is the symbolic representation of oxygen. Now we can see that now we have and some amount of energy is being released. Now in order to proceed further we have to balance out this equation. Okay, so we can see that from this equation we can see that 4 helium nuclei they combine to form one oxygen atom and they release energy. और हमें क्या करना है? We have to calculate the amount of energy that is being released in this entire process. तो हम क्या करेंगे? We will be using the mass energy equivalence. हम formula use कौन सा करेंगे? Formula used will be E is equal to delta M into C square. This is the relation which we will be using here. Mass energy relations. Now अब यहाँ पे थोड़ा सा हमें क्या करना पड़ेगा? We have to use our basic understanding. Okay, now here we have seen that it is being said we can see here that the helium mass has been given to us and the mass of oxygen nucleus that has also been given to us. Okay, now let's just try to solve this question. Okay, now in order to solve this equation we need the value of delta m. We need the value of delta m. The delta m is mass difference and delta m in this case will be mass defect and this is equal to mass defect, and we have already discussed how we can calculate the mass defect. The mass defect here will be 4 into mass of helium minus mass of oxygen that is being formed. ठीक है, तो आपके पास क्या बनेगा? यहाँ से we will simply substitute the values. We will get 4 into 4.0026 minus 15.9994. ठीक है, so on calculating all these things we get the value of mass defect as 0.011 AMU. Now always remember one thing. Now this is something very important जो मैं आपको यहाँ पे बताने वाला हूँ. This is something very important. ठीक है, listen to me very carefully. ठीक है, let me use a different color so you can have better representation for this thing. This is something very important. ठीक है, तो let me write here. This is very important. Important यहाँ पे क्या चीज है? Please always remember this thing. Whenever masses are given in U, whenever the masses are given in U, we do not multiply delta m with C square, but rather what we do is we multiply delta m with 931.5 mega electron volts. ठीक है, इस चीज का आपको यहाँ पे ध्यान रखना है कि whenever the masses are being given in the form of you simply multiply it with 931.5, or I should say to make the calculation bit easy, we will be multiplying it with 931. ठीक है, इस चीज का आपको यहाँ पे ध्यान रखना है. So we will be using this relationship. So the value of E will be equal to delta M into C square, and E will be equal to delta M is equal to 0.011 into 931 mega electron volt, and when we calculate this value the answer is 10.24 mega electron volt. So the correct answer for this question is option number 3. I hope this is clear to you. ठीक है, now let's just move on to the next topic. Next question rather, I should say. In the next question, it is being said that on bombardment, uranium-235 by slow neutrons, 200 mega electron volt of energy is released. ठीक है, आपको क्या कह रहा है कि on bombardment of uranium-235 by slow neutrons, a 200 mega electron volt of energy is being released. If the power output of the atomic reactor, it is being said that the power output of the atomic reactor is 1.6 megawatt, then we have to calculate the rate of fission. अब होता है क्या है, you have to be very careful कि कई बार क्या होता है कि since it has been mentioned here that you have to calculate the rate of fission, तो कई बार क्या होता है rate of fission ना use करके he can simply use number of fissions that are occurring per second. वो आपको ये भी word use कर सकता है rate of fission. Rate of fission यहाँ पे मैं लिख देता हूँ कि rate of fission is equal to number of fissions per second. Sometimes this kind of language is being used in the question. ठीक है, तो चलिए अब इस क्वेश्चन को सॉल्व करते हैं. This is also very easy question. ठीक है, now you have to be very careful here. ठीक है, आपको क्या given है, you have been given that the output power is equal to 1.6 megawatt, which is equal to 1.6 cross 10 raised to power 6 joules per second. ठीक है, and energy released per fission कितना है, energy released per fission is 200 mega electron volt, which is equal to 200 into 1.6 into 10 raised to power minus 13 joules. क्लियर होगी बात. Therefore number of fissions is equal to power over energy, which is equal to 1.6 cross 10 raised to power 6 over 200 into 1.6 into 10 raised to power minus 13, which is equal to 5 cross 10 raised to power 16. ठीक है, तो what kind of relation we have used here. अब आपको यहाँ पे इस relation को हमेशा याद रखना है. Again I'm writing here, this is very important. ठीक है, ऑलवेज रिमेंबर दिस थिंग. ये रिलेशन जो है आपका वर्क एनर्जी पावर से यूज हुआ है. वी हैव स्टडीड देयर दैट P is equal to NA. This is the relation which we are using here. Okay, so this is a very important relation. You should always remember this thing. अगर आपके बुक्स में ये नहीं लिखा है तो you just write from here. मैंने आपको पहले भी बताया when we did the topic of work power energy, तो आपको वहाँ पे इस चीज का भी ध्यान हो जाएगा. ठीक है, now moving on to the next question. The next question it is being said that in a nuclear decay given below, the particles emitted in the sequence, we have to calculate the particles. We have to basically identify the particles that have been emitted. Okay, ठीक है, ठीक है. So let's just look at this thing. Let's just divide this reaction into different parts. Let us say this is your part number A. From here to here we have reaction number B, and from here to here we have reaction number C. ठीक है, we will study each of these reactions individually. ठीक है, so we see here that in the first part, in the A part में क्या हो रहा है, in the A part AXZ is being converted into AYZ plus 1. Now here we can see that A and A are same, the Z is changed and the change is 1. तो यानी कि अब आपको यहाँ पता है, we have already discussed this thing, ये ऐसा change आपके पास कब देखने को मिलता है, when the particle emitted is a beta particle. So here beta particle will be emitted in the first reaction. ठीक है, in the second reaction, when we look at the second part of the reaction, we see that Y of Z plus 1 of A is being converted to A minus 4 Z minus 1 into B into star. ठीक है, अब इस सेक्शन को बहुत ध्यान से देखेंगे. We will look at this section again very carefully. We can see that here A is being converted into A minus 4. That is, A is converted to A minus 4 and Z plus 1 is converted to Z minus 1. Z plus 1 is being converted to Z minus 1. Here the changes of 4 and here the changes of 2. यहाँ पे 2 का चेंज आ रहा है और यहाँ पे कितने का चेंज आ रहा है, 4 का चेंज आ रहा है. बट दिस चेंज इज ऑफन सीन व्हेन द रिएक्शन किस तरह का हो रहा है, when the reaction जो हो रहा है किस तरह का हो रहा है, when alpha particle is being emitted. So यहाँ पे क्या emit हो रहा है, alpha particle is being emitted here. ठीक है. Now यहाँ पे मैं आपको एक बात और बताना चाहता हूँ. Whenever this star symbol is used, please remember this thing. This means that your system is in excited state. ठीक है, इसका मतलब क्या है, ये जो आपका सिस्टम है इट इज इन एक्साइटेड स्टेट एंड व्हेनेवर द सिस्टम इज इन एक्साइटेड स्टेट इट विल लूज सम एनर्जी. अब जब एनर्जी लूज करता है तो क्या होता है, आपका एक गामा पार्टिकल रिलीज होता है. ठीक है, गामा रे फोटोन आपका रिलीज होता है, and when photon is released, we have already discussed this thing. When photon is released, no change in atomic number, no change in mass number takes place. Only the particle gets de-excited from higher state to lower state. Particle आपका move करता है from higher state to lower state whenever the gamma particle photon is being released. और जब photon release होगा, as I've already mentioned, your atomic number will not change, your mass number will not change. ठीक है, and the star symbol represents that the system is radioactive. या radioactive बोल सकते हो, या you can say that the system is in excited state. The word which you will be using is in excited state. So here in the third reaction, a gamma particle, a gamma ray photon will be released. ठीक है, so when we compare all these things, तो हमें पता लगता है कि आपका जो ऑप्शन नंबर डी है, that is your correct answer. ठीक है, now let's just move on to the next question. In the next question, it's being said that a neutron breaks into a proton and electron. A neutron is breaking into a proton and electron. The energy released during this process, we have to calculate the energy that is being released in this process. ठीक, again, this is a very easy question, but in order to solve this question, now this question although is very easy, but you have to in order to solve this question, you need to have the knowledge of chemical reactions and how this reaction will proceed. ठीक है, now it is being said that a neutron is breaking into a proton and an electron. This is what is happening here, and we know that proton is represented like this and electron is represented like this. ठीक है, so this is the reaction which is happening and we have to calculate the value of what? We simply have to calculate the value of energy that is being released in this entire reaction. Now what will be how we will calculate these values? We will calculate this value but with the help of mass energy equivalence relation of Einstein's, and that is the D is equal to delta M into C square. Now in order to solve this thing, we have to calculate the value of delta M, and delta M is your mass defect. And how we will calculate the mass defect? The mass defect will be calculated as delta M will be equal to mass of proton plus mass of electron minus mass of neutron. ठीक है, so we will simply substitute the values which has been given to us, that is 1.6725 into 10 raised to power minus 27 plus 9 cross 10 raised to power minus 31 minus 1.6725 into 10 raised to power minus 27, giving us mass defect as 9 cross 10 raised to power minus 31 kgs. This is your mass defect. Now we will simply, what we will do is we will calculate the energy and we will use the relation of E into delta M into C square. Now as we discussed in our previous question, when masses are given in terms of U, you simply multiply the delta M by 931 mega electron volt. But in this case, since in this case the masses are given in kilograms, so we will use C square. So E will be equal to 9 cross 10 raised to power minus 31 into 3 cross 10 raised to power 8 whole square. ठीक है, and we will divide this entire value by 1.6 into 10 raised to power minus 13, and this will be your mega electron volt. and this will be equal to 0.506 mega electron volt, and this is your correct answer. Now मैं आपको यहाँ पे एक बात क्लियर कर देना चाहता हूँ, why we divided here with this quantity, because we wanted answer in mega electron volt. अगर हम इसको डिवाइड नहीं करते the answers will be in joule. If यहाँ लिख देता हूँ, if not divided the answer will be in joules. So according to the demand of the question you can calculate the value of E in terms of joules or mega electron volts. ठीक है, तो इस चीज का आपको यहाँ पे ध्यान रखना है. ठीक है, now moving on to the next question. In the next question it is being said that it is a kind of a theoretical question, तो इसको बहुत ध्यान से देखिएगा. A nucleus of uranium decays at rest into nuclei of thorium and helium. That means it is क्या कह रहा है वो हमें कि a nucleus of a uranium is decaying into a nucleus of thorium and helium. Now we have to check which of the following relations is correct. We have to simply check which of the following relation is correct. ठीक है, तो when we look at this relation, which of the following relation is correct, हमें वो बताना है. Now in order to do so, अगर हमें वो करना है, in order to do so हमें क्या चीज देखनी पड़ेगी. पहले हम स्टेटमेंट्स को चेक करते हैं कि स्टेटमेंट्स आपको क्या बोली जा रही है. ठीक है, तो स्टेटमेंट्स को अगर हम बहुत ध्यान से देखें, द फर्स्ट स्टेटमेंट इज बीइंग सेड दैट द हीलियम न्यूक्लियाई हैव मोर मोमेंटम देन द थोरियम न्यूक्लियस. ओके, इन द सेकंड हीलियम न्यूक्लियस हैज लेस काइनेटिक एनर्जी देन द थोरियम न्यूक्लियस. इन द थर्ड स्टेटमेंट इज हीलियम न्यूक्लियाई हैव मोर काइनेटिक एनर्जी देन द थोरियम न्यूक्लियस, एंड द फोर्थ स्टेटमेंट इज हीलियम न्यूक्लियाई हैज लेस मोमेंटम देन केस ऑफ thorium nucleus. So basically we have to check the values of which will be having more kinetic energy, will be having less kinetic energy. We have to check the case of momentum. ठीक है, हमें उसको डिस्कस करना है. ठीक है, in order to do so what we will be doing is we will be writing an equation in which uranium 23892 is being converted into thorium and helium. So thorium is 234 and 90 plus helium. ठीक है, प्लस एनर्जी इज बीइंग रिलीज्ड हियर. ठीक है, सो काइनेटिक एनर्जी ऑफ थोरियम कितनी होगी. द काइनेटिक एनर्जी ऑफ थोरियम विल बी इक्वल टू p स्क्वायर ओवर 2 into मास ऑफ थोरियम, एंड काइनेटिक एनर्जी ऑफ uranium will be helium we are dealing with this right now. We are dealing with product side because we are dealing with that thing. So helium will be equal to p square over 2 times the mass of helium. Clear होगी बात. So what we will do is we will divide this equation. We can do whatever we want to do. Now since we can see that mass of helium, the momentum will be same. Now since mass of helium is less than mass of thorium, ठीक है, this implies that kinetic energy of helium will be greater than the kinetic energy of thorium. ठीक है, so इससे क्या पता लगता है, the correct answer will be so from here we can see that the correct answer is here is option number B, meaning that option number D, that kinetic energy of helium is greater than the kinetic energy of thorium. So kinetic energy of helium is more than the kinetic energy of thorium. So option number C is our correct answer. ठीक है, क्लियर होगी बात. Okay, now moving on to, I'm so sorry about this thing. Now we will be moving on to the next question. I hope ये ऑप्शन आपको क्लियर हो चुका होगा. ठीक है, अब हम नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन पे बात करते हैं. तो when we look at the next question, ठीक है, the next question क्या कह रहा है आपको. The next question is being said that the two spherical nuclei have mass number 216 and 64 with the radii r1 and r2 respectively. We have to find the ratio of r1 by r2. ठीक है, again this is a very easy question. ठीक है, because we know that r is equal to r naught of a of 1 by 3. This implies that r is proportional to a of 1 by 3. So what we can do is we can simply divide these equations. So we know that r1 over r2 will be equal to 216 raised to power 1/3 over 64 raised to power 1/3. ठीक है, यही होगा. So this can be written as 216 over 64 raised to power 1/3. ठीक है, so this implies that R1 over R2 will be equal to 6 over 4, which will be equal to 3 over 2. So this is your correct answer. Option number A is your correct answer. ठीक है, चलिए अब नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन पे चलते हैं. द नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन में क्या कह रहा है? द हैवी स्टेबल न्यूक्लियाई हैव मोर न्यूट्रॉन्स देन प्रोटॉन्स. दिस इज बिकॉज ऑफ द फैक्ट दैट, सी दिस इज द सेम थिंग जो हमने लास्ट लेक्चर में बहुत अच्छे से डिस्कस की थी. ठीक है, कैसे डिस्कस की थी? बिकॉज जब हमने ये चीज को डिस्कस किया था, आई हैव ऑलरेडी टोल्ड यू, मैंने आपको चीज समझाई थी. आप याद कीजिए जब हमने वो कर्व्स को समझा था, जब हमने इसके कर्व्स को समझा था, एंड देन भी जब इसके कर्व्स को हम समझ रहे थे तब मैंने आपको क्या कहा था? जब इसके कर्व्स को हम समझ रहे थे, व्हेन वी वर ट्राइंग टू अंडरस्टैंड दिस कर्व्स, तब हम इस बात को समझ रहे थे कि मैंने आपको बताया था कि बाय, जब याद कीजिए जब हमने वैल्यू ऑफ स्टेबिलिटी को पढ़ा था, व्हेन वी स्टडीड अ कर्व लाइक दिस, ठीक है, तब हमने इस चीज को डिस्कस किया था कि व्हाई द न्यूक्लियाई विद लार्जर नंबर ऑफ न्यूट्रॉन्स हैव ग्रेटर स्टेबिलिटी. हमने इस बात को डिस्कस किया था. तो हमने क्या पढ़ा था उस टाइम पे कि व्हाई द हेवियर न्यूक्लियाई हैव मोर नंबर ऑफ न्यूट्रॉन्स, क्या रीजन था उस चीज का? तो वही चीज आपसे क्वेश्चन में यहाँ पे पूछी गई है. ठीक है, सो लेट्स जस्ट लुक एट द ऑप्शंस. ऑप्शंस क्या है? न्यूट्रॉन्स आर हेवियर देन प्रोटॉन्स. इलेक्ट्रोस्टैटिक फोर्सेस बिटवीन द प्रोटॉन्स एंड न्यूट्रॉन्स आर रिपल्सिव. न्यूट्रॉन्स डिके इनटू प्रोटॉन्स एंड बीटा डिके. न्यूक्लियर फोर्सेस. तो हमने उस टाइम पर डिस्कस किया था कि एज वी मूव टुवर्ड्स द ग्रेटर एटॉमिक नंबर्स, तो हमें ये नोटिस किया था कि द नंबर ऑफ वी डिस्कस दैट, वी ट्राई टू अंडरस्टैंड, वी एक्चुअली अंडरस्टूड देयर दैट एज वी मूव टुवर्ड्स ग्रेटर एटॉमिक नंबर्स, तब हमने एक बात को रियलाइज किया था कि जिनका एटॉमिक नंबर ज्यादा होता है उनमें नंबर ऑफ न्यूट्रॉन्स ज्यादा होते हैं, बिकॉज दे आर मोर स्टेबल. एज द नंबर ऑफ न्यूट्रॉन्स इंक्रीजेस द स्टेबिलिटी इंक्रीजेस. तो हमने उसको डिस्कस किया था. ऐसा क्यों होता है? ऐसा इसलिए होता है कि एज द नंबर ऑफ न्यूट्रॉन इंक्रीजेस द रिपल्शंस डिक्रीजेस. बिकॉज अगर नंबर ऑफ प्रोटॉन ज्यादा होंगे तो इलेक्ट्रोस्टैटिक रिपल्शंस होंगी, और इलेक्ट्रोस्टैटिक रिपल्शंस होंगी तो आपका क्या होगा? सिस्टम जो होगा वो कैसा होगा? आपका सिस्टम अनस्टेबल होगा because of the repulsion. So that is the reason why you have to be very careful while answering this question. So the correct option for this answer is, for this question, the correct option for this option is option number B. Electrostatic forces of protons are repulsive. ठीक है, because repulsions will be more. ठीक है, we have to reduce the repulsions. Repulsions को हमें reduce क्यों करना है? For the stability. Because if the repulsions will be there, because if the number of protons are large, so it is self-explanatory and it is something which you should understand. If the number of protons are more, the electrostatic repulsions will be more. And since the neutrons are chargeless particle, they don't face any kind of repulsions. तो उनके बीच में सिर्फ और सिर्फ nuclear forces हैं जो react करेंगी. And due to this reason, the heavier nuclei have more number of neutrons when compared to the lighter nucleus. ठीक है, आई होप ये बात क्लियर हुई होगी आपके लिए. ठीक है, तो ये वैल्यू ऑफ स्टेबिलिटी भी आपने पढ़ा हुआ है. ठीक है, नाउ लेट्स जस्ट मूव ऑन टू द नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन. ठीक है, ठीक है, तो लेट्स जस्ट लुक एट द नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन. नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन क्या बोल रहा है आपको कि इन अ न्यूक्लियर रिएक्टर द मॉडरेटर स्लो डाउन. नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन में आपको क्या बोल रहा है? इन अ न्यूक्लियर रिएक्टर the moderator slow down the neutrons which comes out of the fission process. The moderator used to have light nuclei. Heavy nuclei will not serve the purpose because. Now, जब हमने कल न्यूक्लियर फिशन रिएक्टर्स को पढ़ा था तो आई ऑलरेडी सजेस्टेड यू दैट यू शुड रेफर टू योर रेफरेंस बुक बिकॉज ऑल दिस टॉपिक्स आर हाईली सब्जेक्टिव. theoretical questions हैं and there is no need for me to waste your time in your listening to me because ये topic आप book से पढ़ के, because this topics can be easily read in your book और वहाँ से आप इस topic को पढ़ सकते थे. ठीक है, and अगर आपने इस topic को वहाँ से पढ़ा होगा then you must understand this thing कि इसका आंसर क्या होगा. ठीक है, इसका आंसर ये होगा कि let's just look at the option and then I will tell you the answer. That they will break up. The elastic collision of neutrons of heavy nuclei will not slow them down. The net weight of the reactor would be unbearably high. The substances with heavy nuclei do not occur in liquid or gaseous state at the room temperature. ठीक है, so we have already discussed. अगर आपने इस चैप्टर को पढ़ा होता, अगर आपने इस चीज को पढ़ा होता वहां पे, तो आपको इस बात को समझनी पड़ेगी. द करेक्ट आंसर फॉर दिस ऑप्शन विल बी ऑप्शन नंबर बी, कि इलास्टिक कोलिशन ऑफ द न्यूट्रॉन्स विद हैवी न्यूक्लियाई विल नॉट स्लो देम डाउन. ऐसा क्यों है? व्हाई इज इट सो? दिस इज द रीजन फॉर दिस इज यू हैव टू बी वेरी केयरफुल. अब आपको समझना पड़ेगा ऐसा इसलिए होता है बिकॉज व्हेन प्रोटॉन्स अंडरगो द perfectly elastic collisions, the neutrons are emitted. This is something which we already know, and we have already discussed this thing in when we were studying about the collisions in our class +1. कि when the when the lighter particles will interact with which one particle is at rest, their velocities are exchanged. So in this case, the neutrons will come to rest and the protons will move with the velocity of neutrons. This is something which we want. ठीक है, but when heavy nuclei are used, this will not serve the purpose. When heavy nuclei are used, this will not serve the purpose because the elastic collision of the neutrons with heavy nuclei will not slow them down. ठीक है, तो ऑप्शन नंबर बी इज करेक्ट. अगेन आई एम रिपीटिंग माई सेल्फ. ऐसा क्यों होता है, प्लीज बहुत ध्यान से सुनिएगा. नाउ इसको समझने के लिए आपको समझना पड़ेगा ऐसा इसलिए होता है बिकॉज इन मॉडरेटर्स वी यूज लाइटर न्यूक्लियाई. ऐसा क्यों? बिकॉज इफ व्हेन वी यूज द लाइटर न्यूक्लियाई, द प्रोटॉन्स व्हिच अंडरगो द परफेक्टली इलास्टिक कोलिशन विद न्यूट्रॉन्स, दे एक्सचेंज देयर एनर्जीज एंड एज अ रिजल्ट द वेलोसिटीज आर एक्सचेंज. द न्यूट्रॉन्स कम टू रेस्ट एंड द प्रोटॉन्स स्टार्ट टू मूव विद द वेलोसिटी ऑफ द न्यूट्रॉन्स. बट इफ वी यूज heavy nuclei, this situation can never occur, and as a result we cannot use heavy particles as a moderator in a nuclei. ठीक है, again I'm repeating myself because elastic collisions with neutrons will not slow them down. ठीक है, ऐसा क्यों है? Because as we have studied this thing in our topic of collisions, when the light particle will interact with a lighter particle, ठीक है, so what will they will do? If one particle is at rest and another body with this almost same mass that comes into contact with it, they will simply exchange their velocities, and that is what we want in case of moderators, and this is something which happens in case of moderator. तब आपके पास यहाँ पे ये चीज चल रही है. ठीक है, now let's just move on to the next question. ठीक है, तो अगर हम नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन को ध्यान से देखें तो नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन में क्या कह रहा है कि द बाइंडिंग एनर्जी पर न्यूक्लियन फॉर कार्बन 12 इज 7.68 मेगा इलेक्ट्रॉन वोल्ट एंड दैट फॉर कार्बन 13 इज 7.47 मेगा इलेक्ट्रॉन वोल्ट. इट शुड बी पर न्यूक्लियन. Per nucleon. What is the energy required to remove a neutron? We have to calculate the amount of energy that is being required. ठीक है, so again मैं इस बात को क्वेश्चन को रिपीट करता हूँ कि आपको कह रहा है कि बाइंडिंग एनर्जी पर न्यूक्लियन, एक न्यूक्लियन को रिमूव करने के लिए एनर्जी कितनी है? फॉर कार्बन 12 इट इज 7.68 मेगा इलेक्ट्रॉन वोल्ट एंड दैट फॉर कार्बन 13 इट इज 7.47 मेगा इलेक्ट्रॉन वोल्ट. क्लियर हो गई? तीसरी बात, वी हैव टू कैलकुलेट व्हाट इज द एनर्जी रिक्वायर्ड टू रिमूव द न्यूट्रॉन फ्रॉम कार्बन 13. हमें उसको निकालने के लिए एनर्जी चाहिए. ठीक है, सो इट इज अ वेरी इजी क्वेश्चन. क्या है? बिकॉज आपको ये पता है, बिफोर वी स्टार्ट विद दिस क्वेश्चन you already know that the binding energy per nucleon has been given to you. ठीक है, so in carbon 12 we have 12 nucleons and in carbon 13 we have 13 nucleons, and according to question binding energy per nucleon for carbon 12 is how much? 7.68 mega electron volt per nucleon. Therefore total binding energy will be how much? Total binding energy will be equal to 7.68 into 12, which will be equal to 92.16 mega electron volt. Similarly the binding energy for carbon 13, that will be equal to 13 into 7.47 and that will be equal to 97.11 मेगा इलेक्ट्रॉन वोल्ट. अगेन आई एम रिपीटिंग माई सेल्फ. कार्बन 12 में कितने होते हैं? नंबर ऑफ न्यूक्लियॉन्स प्रेजेंट इन कार्बन 12 is 12 and in carbon 13 number of nucleons present is 13. Now according to the question it has been given to us that the binding energy per nucleon, एक न्यूक्लियन के लिए एनर्जी गिवन है, तो 12 के लिए कितनी होगी? 12 multiplied by 7.68. Similarly for carbon 13 it will be 13 into 7.47, so this will be giving two energies, and since we have to calculate the amount of energy required to remove extra neutron, so that will be equal to energy required will be equal to energy required will be equal to 97.11 minus 92.16 that will be equal to 4.95 मेगा इलेक्ट्रॉन वोल्ट। ठीक है, ये बात क्लियर होगी? ठीक है, so this was your question, and now let's just move on to the next question. Now the next question, when we are looking at the next question, मैं आपको यहाँ पे एक बात बताना चाहता हूँ कि this question is not exactly mentioned in your syllabus because this question is a bit tricky. This question was asked in previous year examinations for AI triple in 2010. ठीक है, but since last year a question of radioactivity was asked, and the radioactivity alpha beta and gamma decay is not mentioned in your syllabus, and वो question नहीं पूछा आपके syllabus में, but question was asked, a question related to that topic is, I'm giving you that question, we are discussing that question, and I'll tell you how to approach this question, how you can solve this question. ठीक है, so this is what we're trying to do here. Okay, so when we look at this question, ठीक है, अगर हम इस question को बहुत ध्यान से देखें, it is being said that a radioactive nucleus with initial mass number A and atomic number Z emits 3 alpha particles and 2 positrons. ठीक है, and we have to calculate the ratio of number of neutrons to the protons in the final nucleus. Now again I am mentioning you that this topic was not mentioned in the last year, but the question was asked related to the alpha and beta particles. Similarly, that is the reason why we are dealing with the same topic, but हम इसमें कोई डिटेल में नहीं जा रहे. I'm trying to make you understand कि how to approach this question. ठीक है, तो इस चीज को बहुत ध्यान से सुनिएगा. This is a very important question. ठीक है, so अब आपको ये समझना पड़ेगा, you won't be able to solve this question until unless you write the equation for this thing. ठीक है, तो आपको पता होना चाहिए कि पहले बन क्या रहा है. ठीक है, so it is being said that let's just suppose that this is the nucleus which has been given to us, and this is being converted into and it is emitting 3 alpha particles. How much alpha particles? 3 alpha particles and 2 positrons. 3 alpha particles and 2 positrons. ठीक है, so the final result will be Z minus 8 into A minus 12 plus 3 into helium 2 into 4 plus 2 positrons. 2 positrons are being emitted. ठीक है, आपको समझ में आ रहा है ये बात? ठीक है, क्या कह रहा है? अगेन आई एम रिपीटिंग माई सेल्फ. ऐसा क्यों हुआ? आपके पास हाउ मच 3 अल्फा पार्टिकल्स आर बीइंग एमिटेड. 3 अल्फा पार्टिकल्स आर बीइंग एमिटेड. ठीक है, इसलिए आपको यहाँ पे चीज का ध्यान रखना पड़ेगा. ठीक है, अब सिंस 3 अल्फा पार्टिकल, आपको एक चीज का और यहाँ पे बताता हूँ. सिंस अल्फा पार्टिकल जब बी डीके होता है, लेट मी जस्ट राइट दिस थिंग हियर. नाउ एज वी नो दैट इन अल्फा डीके this is something which happens Z minus 2 into A minus 4. Now in this case, since 3 alpha particles are being emitted, in this case 3 alpha particles are being emitted, so therefore your atomic number in this case, according to the question, in this case A will change to A minus 12 since 3 alpha particles are being emitted. ठीक है, similarly your Z will change to A minus 6. ठीक है, but 2 positrons are also emitted. 2 positrons are also emitted. इसका मतलब ये हुआ कि 2 positron और emit हो जाएंगे, तो then this will be changing into Z minus 8. So that's why we have written Z minus 8. ठीक है, I hope this is something which you are able to understand. ठीक है, so therefore अब यहाँ पे हम लिख सकते हैं, this implies that charge on final nucleus is equal to Z minus 8. ठीक है, mass number of final nucleus is equal to A minus 12. ठीक है, this implies number of protons in the final nucleus is equal to Z minus 8, and number of neutrons in the final nucleus is A minus 12 minus Z minus 8, which is equal to A minus Z minus 4. And what we have to do is we have to calculate the ratio of number of neutrons to the number of protons in the final. So it will be A minus Z minus 4 over Z minus 8. So this is your correct answer. ठीक है, option number B is your correct answer. ठीक है, ये बात क्लियर होगी. Now let's just move on to the last question. ठीक है, in the last question, now इस क्वेश्चन को बहुत ध्यान से देखिएगा. This question, although it seems like it is a very easy question, but थोड़ा सा इसमें दिमाग की जरूरत होती है, so उसको समझिएगा, उसको लगाइएगा. ठीक है, in the question it is said that after a series of alpha particles and beta decays, plutonium is being converted into lead. How many alpha particles and beta particles are emitted for the complete decay process? ठीक है, So technically what is happening is plutonium 94 and 239 is being converted into lead 207 and 82, and we simply have to calculate the number of alpha particles and beta particles emitted in this relationship. Okay, इस क्वेश्चन को हमें ध्यान से देखना है, ठीक है. So how we will approach this question? So when we look at this equations, we see that the decrease in mass number is 239 minus 207, that is equal to 32, and decrease in charge number, that is atomic number, that is equal to 94 minus 82, and that is equal to 12. ठीक है. Assuming that x is the number of alpha particles that are emitted, ठीक है, and y is the number of beta particles that are emitted. I hope you are getting my point, you are understanding what we are doing here. ठीक है. And now as we know that in one alpha decay कैसे होता है, ZA converts to Z minus 2 A minus 4, ठीक है. And in one beta decay we know that XZA change to Y Z plus 1 into A. This is something, this relations we already know, ठीक है. So अब हम क्या करेंगे, we will use basic mathematics. So this implies that number of alpha decay will be equal to will be decided by this change in mass number. So we x into 4 will be equal to 32, or that is the change which we are experiencing. So that will be equal to, this implies that x will be equal to 8. So the number of alpha particles that are being emitted is 8. अब देखिए जब 8 alpha particles आपके पास emit हो रहे हैं, that means if 8 alpha particles are being emitted, so then you must understand this thing. Your atomic number, sorry, your charge number, this number, this number should have changed by how much? 16. आपका 16 से उसको चेंज होना चाहिए था, बट चेंज कितने का है? चेंज 12 का है. दिस मीन्स दैट ये z प्लस 1 कितना होना चाहिए? 4. बिकॉज टेक्निकली सिंस यहां लिख देता हूं, सिंस 8 alpha particles are emitted, this implies that change in z should happen of 16 units. ठीक है, 16 यूनिट्स का चेंज होना चाहिए था, बट we have a change of 12 units. ठीक है. This implies that number of beta particles that are emitted कितने हैं? 16 minus 12 is equal to 4, because एक उस पे एक से आप इंक्रीज करते हो. ठीक है. With every beta particle your atomic number increases by 1. ठीक है. So this is how you proceed with this question. So this is how you solve this question. ठीक है. So I hope आपको आज का लेक्चर समझ आया होगा. आपको फिर भी कुछ भी डाउट हो, in case you have any kind of doubt, please write in the comment section. I will definitely solve your each and every query. I will solve your each and every doubt. If you feel like, if you want to study some more topics, तो हम वो भी कर लेंगे. That totally depends on you. So please make sure that you write in the comment section what you need from me. ठीक है. So on that note, let's just finish today's lecture. I hope you must have liked this lecture. So please make sure that you like, share and subscribe. And thank you so much. And please work hard. All the best. And I hope आप सबका नीट निकल जाए सर. Thank you so much. Bye bye. Take care and best of luck. And please do make sure that you like, share and subscribe to my channel. Okay. Thank you so much. Bye bye. Take care and good night.